have a slight change on the program because Simone Molteni will give the next talk. And Simone is Scientific Director of LifeGate, who is referencing sustainability. He spent part of his career in EPFL in Lausanne working on solar energy, and now we move to the way of communicating science. As a scientist, we feel the gap. We have to construct bridges in between science and the people, and one way to do that is to work in this field. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much for the organizers in particular, and thank you for University of Ca' Foscari. Two informations I want to give you. The first one is, I think I'm in this program, the right frontier between the ivory tower of science and the real world. I started as a scientist in my previous life, and then at a certain moment I decided to get out and try to do something, because I saw when I was at my 100th conference that I was always saying the same things to the same people in different places. So the same people I was speaking to, there were 2 weeks before in Helsinki and 3 weeks before in Copenhagen and 1 month before somewhere else. So at my last conference I said, okay, why am I speaking? Actually, you already know what I'm going to say. So maybe I have to try to do something else. Because the bad part that I was seeing is that science was perfectly succeeding in taking the photograph and understanding the problem, but the world was not succeeding at all in trying to find the solutions or trying to apply any kind of solution to this problem. So everything we saw this morning, and it was very inspiring and very nice, is something that we know, and we know every year we know it better, but 25 years ago we started to speak about climate change, and very, very little has been done. So when the second part is, what should we do about that? That is mitigation and adaptation. And if I have to sum up the results of what we really did for mitigation and adaptation, it's just 2 words. You can choose. It's very little or too little. So what I tried to do is just to get in the real world, and with other people I funded a company who wanted to try the real world, that is people and companies, to get sustainable, so to do something to solve the problem. So the second information is much easier to help you in this digestive moment after lunch. I will switch to Italian at a certain moment because I have some slides in Italian, but I wanted to start it in English for our speakers. So the title of what I'm speaking about is Science, Communication and Climate Change. Not very often you see communication and media close to science, but I think it is the moment to speak about that, and I'm very happy that Andrea started to speak about that, because the world has changed, and if we have, so we always, every day, we're always very busy in doing things, even scientists, but sometimes you have to stop and look back, and if I have to look at the moment and look back, I really say that science has failed somewhere, because if you have Trump elected, the most powerful person in the world is saying that everything you saw today is not true. Andrea was very polite in calling them climato-skeptics. I'm not polite at all, because to me, a climato-skeptics is one of the speakers of today that one day calls up and say, oh, I have changed my idea, I have changed opinion. They have the competence about that. But when you have someone that is completely ignorant and has no reason to say this is not true, and this is the dominant position, then I think we have a problem. I think one big point that we have to address is that in the last years in communication world, we have the social media come up. and this is uncontrollable. And also the media, how the media treat this subject is quite amazing. In particular in Italy, we still have very big national media that still don't tell the difference between meteorological, and climate. So 25 years after we're speaking about climate change, we still have these problems. I just want to tell you a story. In I had the chance in my life to be the advisor of the vice president of Costa Rica. Costa Rica is so he was a scientist who went to politics when he was 70, and he told me a very nice story when I was there. Costa Rica is one of the countries in the world with a best biodiversity you can imagine. You have plants and animals that you can only have there, and they're wonderful. At a certain moment, they decided as a country, as a strategy, to save this biodiversity and use it, for example, to have national parks, so to have it as part of the GDP. So they preferred not to cut trees and sell the wood, not to kill animals and eat them, but to make national parks and have tourists come for that. So guess what? They all started from science. So some scientists found out that some animals were only there, so they were very precious. They spoke with politicians, and politicians reacted. And the problem was that you had a lot of people there that were wild hunters. So people were just in the forest and killing these animals, and they didn't even know that if they were precious or not. They were killing and eating them. So first try, laws. It's forbidden to kill these animals and these plants. Didn't work. Second try, let's make a lot of conferences with scientists and inviting these hunters to tell them that these animals are so important. Didn't work. Third try, and that's the one I want to give you as a very interesting try, they worked on the consciousness of people. They worked on the culture of people. So up to that moment, the wild hunters, they were quite cool people. Wild hunter meant adventure, meant courage. So they started to destroy that image, and with television shows and theater and everything, they built up a totally different perception of wild hunters. They were treated as and presented as the losers, miserable, very, very poor people. So in 3 years, that added to the fact that these people were given new jobs as workers in the national parks, made it change completely. And the perception of all the country was that, oh, we find out that we have biodiversity, we find out that we have a treasure, and these people really switched their behavior. I think this is something that we have to do also. So if I try to find just 3 bullet points to what I think is the next approach we should have with climate change, is that science should simplify, totally simplify the message and focus on the solution, not just telling or convincing all the world about the problem, but on the solutions of what we should do, and to have the courage to raise the voice. Some things are happening in the United States. I have many friends working there in universities. Some things are happening there that are incredible. I mean, nobody could even think about that some years ago. And I think it's the moment to raise the voice. Science should raise the voice about that and unite, of course. The only example that I would have, and I'm happy it was already done today, is Pope Francis with the Laudato Si. I've been director in Expo 2015, and this was one of the magazine. I was the editorial director there, and I was very, very happy to have this interview and to make his voice coming out of Expo 2015 to say these things. In Expo 2015 in Milan, we had more than 10,000 conferences. We had 50,000 scientists coming from all the world and saying very interesting things. Guess what? The media came and they always spoke about the longest pizza of the world or this stuff. But when we had very interesting scientific contents on the national papers, you really had only 2 or 3 words. I want to be very positive, so here maybe I'll switch to Italian. Per essere ottimista, io forse annebbiato da troppo ottimismo, cerco di sperare che la non linearità della natura ci salverà. Cerco di spiegarmi meglio. Se siamo in una posizione a un punto A e vogliamo andare a un punto B, non è per forza la linea retta che abbiamo dal punto A al punto B il modo più veloce per arrivarci. Questo è quello che abbiamo cercato di fare con tutto quello che avete visto col protocollo di Kyoto negli ultimi 25 anni, dove la gente pensava che ci fosse un pilota sull'aereo, se il pianeta era l'aereo, perché si pensava che qualcuno stesse pensando a tutto. Nella realtà oggi quello che sta succedendo è che stiamo andando in direzione totalmente opposta, si sta distruggendo quel poco che è stato fatto, però la speranza è che ci possa essere una reazione talmente forte per cui caduti così in basso o toccando il fondo così in basso da una parte, la reazione sia molto più forte, molto più veloce, perché quello che vedete oggi è che la direzione da A a C in rosso è molto molto più veloce di quello che è stato fatto da A verso B. Da A verso B è stato fatto quasi niente, è come voler andare da Milano o da Venezia a Parigi a piedi, e si è arrivati giusto forse a Venezia Mestre, mentre in 10 giorni o in 15 giorni Trump è riuscito a distruggere questo e fare molto peggio con una velocità incredibile. La vera scommessa per me sta anche nella modalità con cui l'ha fatto. La decisione di distruggere l'EPA, che è l'Environmental la loro agenzia di protezione ambientale, fatta in maniera dichiarata e molto arrogante, forse questo è esattamente la parte interessante che abbiamo, cioè è riuscito a generare e sta generando una reazione nella società per cui tante persone che ad oggi non si erano mai immaginate di reagire e di fare qualche cosa, oggi si stanno svegliando, quindi si sta muovendo degli anticorpi nella società. Il 22 aprile negli Stati Uniti ci sarà una marcia di tutti gli scienziati che finalmente scendono in strada, e questo a me fa molto piacere. Per dare qualche altra buona notizia, visto che parlavamo di consapevolezza, noi facciamo ogni anno con il professor Mannheimer una ricerca, un osservatorio sugli stili di vita sostenibili, e se guardiamo l'Italia vedete che il 62%, cioè 31 milioni di italiani, sono interessati ai temi della sostenibilità e 14 milioni sono addirittura appassionati, cioè gente che ha già applicato nella propria vita e decide di farlo, per esempio di scegliere bio o fare scelte green, anche se costa un po' di più. Quindi il potenziale c'è, il problema è insegnargli e spiegare cosa fare. Questa è la prima iniziativa che io ho lanciato in LifeGate 17 anni fa, quindi uscito dall'università dove appunto si parlava di protocolli Kyoto eccetera eccetera, però non vedevo risultati. Cosa abbiamo fatto? Abbiamo cercato di aiutare le persone con quello che avevo imparato all'università, quindi Life Cycle Assessment è una scienza che permette di guardare dietro ad ogni prodotto per capire quali sono le emissioni di CO2 che sono state emesse per fare questo orologio, questo vestito o qualunque prodotto. Cosa facciamo ancora? Aiutiamo le aziende che fanno questi prodotti a analizzare quello che sta dietro al loro prodotto, ridurne l'impatto ambientale, quindi ridurre le emissioni di gas a effetto serra, e poi compensarle con la creazione di nuove foreste, quindi piantando nuovi alberi o facendo altri tipi di progetti. Ci sono più di 400 milioni di prodotti oggi con il marchio Impatto Zero, cioè su più di 400 milioni di prodotti è stato messo questo seme di consapevolezza o di intelligenza per cercare di fare qualcosa per ridurre l'impatto ambientale. Quello che abbiamo scoperto, lavorare, per questo che dicevo, il passaggio verso il real world, il passaggio verso il mondo reale che c'è fuori. Quello che si scopre appena si comincia a mettere il naso nelle aziende, per vedere come il nostro sistema funziona, è che si scopre che c'è uno spreco incredibile, incredibile. Vi faccio un esempio, visto che parlavamo di Expo prima. Una delle conclusioni di tutti gli scienziati che sono passati è che se la nostra società può arrivare al collasso è possibile che l'anello debole, il primo anello a saltare sia il cibo. Non tanto perché il pianeta non è capace o non sarà capace di produrre abbastanza cibo per tutti, ma per tutta una serie di cose adesso legate, cioè la possibilità di accedere al cibo, per esempio di trasportarlo. Per darvi un'idea, giusto per cominciare a parlare di spreco, tra il 38, diciamo tra il 35 e il 40% del cibo prodotto, allevato, trasportato, cucinato, eccetera, eccetera, viene sprecato a livello mondiale, questo mentre ci sono 900 milioni di persone che soffrono la fame. Però per cercare di farvi capire un po' la potenza del life cycle assessment, che è quello che dicevo prima, e per portarvi sul tema di cui voglio parlare di più, che è quello delle energie rinnovabili, vi faccio un esempio sulla differenza che c'è tra la natura, gli animali e l'uomo. Se voi siete un animale e avete voglia avete bisogno, soprattutto oltre che voglia di mangiare, dovete correre dietro una preda. Il software che dovreste avere installato nella testa vi deve permettere di calcolare qual è l'energia che spenderete per prendere questa preda e qual è l'energia che questa preda vi darà. Quindi se porto a casa un'unità di energia, una caloria dal cibo, tendenzialmente nella corsa, nella caccia a questa preda dovrei spenderne meno. Infatti, se voi guardate questa balena, che è molto efficiente, ne spende circa 1/100 di energia. Quindi si immerge, va, fa tutto quello che deve fare, porta a casa un'unità di energia avendone speso 1/100. Oh, yeah, sure, sorry. Sure. So if you compare the energy balance of men compared to this whale, is exactly the contrary. So in an industrialized world today in Italy, to get 1 calorie of energy in the food that we have spent 100 calories to get it back. So it's exactly the opposite of the whale. So the whale is spending 100, so one and gets 100. We spend 100 to get 1. So how is that possible? It's just because we don't make the work, but someone else does it for us. And that is fossil fuels, especially, let's say, 99% of this job is done by fossil fuels. For example, when we transport food, we're not transporting with our energy, we're transporting with fossil fuels. And is that a problem not to be efficient at all like that? It wouldn't be a big problem if this energy that we're using was clean. The problem is that we're using a lot of energy and more than what we would need, a lot more, but it's not clean. So every time we burn it, we have some problems like climate change. There's also a second problem that is that going on in the years, we are going to get these fossil fuels deeper and deeper, and with technologies that are more and more energy demanding. So the net energy that we can really use actually is going down compared to the beginning of the century, for example. The second big problem why we are focusing as LiveGate on fossil fuels, this is the first central battle we are heading now, is also the social problem. We know we have in Italy a lot. We speak a lot about migration of people and wars and wars, for example, in Syria, but we understand that not many people have really understood the link between the 80% of the wars that we see today, especially in Middle East, and the fossil fuel system that is behind. So for these two reasons, the environmental one and the social one, this is the next problem we want to address as LiveGate. So to make people understand that there is no pilot on the plane, we are all pilots, and we should all try to do our part. So the first step is to understand that renewable energy, the transition, the energy transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy and efficiency is the first priority, both for environmental and social reasons. As I was saying before, we have to simplify the message and to make people understand it. So I try to, we are trying now to have influencers like rock stars and social media influencers to tell this story. What can you do? You're not the policymaker, you're not the king of the world, but you can make some choices. Let's see some of the best choices you could do to go green. So for example, you could go by bicycle every day to work, or you could only eat vegetarian or organic food, or you can change your car and get the greenest on the market, or you can switch in your house and choose renewable energy. These are the results. So what's nice is that I come from Milan, and everybody is very busy in Milan. Everybody's always running and busy. They have no time. What's really nice is that changing your in your house to have renewable energy. Today we made 3 months ago we made a project to help you do that in 5 minutes with 4 clicks on the internet. It's something you can do in 5 minutes. While for all the other actions that you should do, and we say that you should do too, we're not saying, oh, don't do the others, just do that. Of course, you need a lot more energy and concern. For example, if you want to be vegetarian, Angelica knows it because we're at the restaurant, is very energy intense, because 3 times a day for 365 days per year, you have to eat vegetarian and find vegetarian food, etc., etc. So this is why the last project we launched is this. We are producing and selling renewable energies for 10 years now, but 3 months ago we started to help people doing that also at their home. So we invited, and the claim here, together we have the energy to change the world. This is what we try to communicate. And we developed a way to make this choice to people very, very easy. So in just, as I was saying before, 5 minutes and 4 clicks, with, of course, no more money to be spent or no works to be done in the house. You can change the energy you use in your house. This is almost my last slide, and this is the part I wanted to tell you before closing. As I was saying before, communication is the key in the moment, and we need partners. We need new ways of thinking about communicating these problems. We are launching this project with the Buddhist Union in Italy. So science does the rational part, but changing behaviors and understanding that you have to do something is something that has to do with your values. So we were very happy to have this request from the Buddhist Union in Italy to say, oh, we want all the centers in Italy and all the Buddhist people in Italy to understand what they should do. So we're launching, in 2 months, we're launching this initiative that is called Interdependence Day. Interdependence is a Buddhist concept about how everything is linked together and what you can do to solve the big problems. And they will try to help all the people in the 100 centers in Italy to make their people understand what they have to do and to motivate and to activate them. And this, of course, we're trying to do that with all religions and all groups who want to, who need our support. And this is also something that is happening with companies choosing energy and inviting people, their clients, to do the same. So to show, okay, we are trying to solve the problem. What are you doing? What are you trying to do? This is my slide, last slide. So I have twins, but just two. These are many, but two are enough. But what I'd like to say with this slide is that we are taking this perfect photograph of the problem. We have understood the problem perfectly, but we're not doing. We're not trying to find the solution. I would prefer our society to have tried at least one solution and maybe to find out that it was not the good one. But at least we had tried. Well, the risk that we are having now is that in some years we have to go and explain to children that will be big enough to understand and beat us, that actually while we understood the problem, the only thing that we could do was to speak about that, to make wonderful photos about that, to do a lot of things just to speak about that, but not to act to solve it. So what we are trying to do in LifeGate is exactly that, trying to put that missing part and to help companies do that. We're very happy because we're working with more than 2,000 companies at the moment, but we see that the real switch has to be done with people, with the motivation and the activation of people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There is time for one quick question. Otherwise, we move on. Oh, okay, Angelica has one.
One comment, it's absolutely simple to be vegetarian.
I know. We invite people to do that, and in our network we also give recipes. But it's for sure, sometimes when you travel and you go to France, it's surely more than 5 minutes. But for sure we help people, and we invite people to do that.